I was a baby of the family, so I was very spoiled. Now, we were poor, but you couldn't have told me I was poor. I thought I was a rich child because my parents were very loving. My mother was, as most mothers are, the one that ran the home. My father was very soft-spoken, very gentle, and Mama was just Mama. She was a baby of her family. He was a baby of his family. I'm the youngest. I have two older brothers, John Payne, I got to get it straight, and Don Albert Payne. And my brother Don has since passed. And my mom had 12 siblings in her family. My father had 9. I have no aunts and uncles left out of 21. Family traditions were always around food. Even when we lived in Hillabin, when we first moved to Hillabin, I remember we only had 2 rooms. So all 5 of us lived in those 2 rooms. Then my dad added on 2 additional rooms, 2 more bedrooms. But it was always around food. So with all of those uncles and aunts, everybody just about had kids. So it's always been tradition of food. My grandmother's birthday was on Christmas Day. So we would travel back to Coleman most every holiday to spend with I call her Big Mama. So traditions have been food, picnic, just family gatherings. I went to high school. Started at Drachman Elementary, then went to Safford, was junior high. Now they call it something else. And I graduated from Tucson High in 1966. Then I got married. I got married in July 24th of 66. So I did not go to college immediately. My husband was in the Air Force. My first husband's name was Willie Williams. So he went to Vietnam when I was pregnant with our second daughter, Vanessa. My children are Tracy Lynn Williams, Vanessa Denise Parsons, Fiona Danielle Lacoud, she's deceased now, and Jemaine Paris. So I was pregnant with our first child, so I was here when he was in Vietnam. When he returned in 1968, I have to think years. 1968, we moved to Williams Air Force Base, where we stayed there until 1970. Moved back to Tucson. So I started the Pima Community College, February of 1971, on a grant from the, Model Cities grant. Model Cities at that time paid for tuition, they paid for my books, they paid for childcare, because childcare then was at my church, Grace Temple, so that's where my kids did childcare. So I finished Pima Community College, I think in 73, went to the University of Arizona, and graduated from the University of Arizona with my bachelor's in July of 74. Started working at Pima Community College in July of 74. My husband, Willie Williams, got me the job. He was a job developer for Model Cities. So that was where I started Pima in July of 1974, worked there for approximately a semester, then returned to the university to work on my master's degree, which I completed in 1977.